Bleacher Report had, and this was in honor of July 4th, there were like some firework trade ideas that could spark up the league. And, when we were out there at OTAs and minicamp, I think the biggest eye-opener was, wow, this receiving core is not very good. When you don't have CeeDee Lamb, when you don't have Michael Gallup, we're a little nervous here. And you're not going to have Gallup most likely for at least week 1. Maybe he's ahead of schedule. I don't know. He did look good.
Yeah, I think he's ahead of schedule. I need to check that, but he looked like to me that hopefully it's maybe missed week 1.
Yeah, I agree. I thought him and Jabril Cox, when they were working out with Britt Brown and the training staff, they both looked like they were coming along nicely. So we don't know the time frame, but the interesting trade idea here, and this might be maddening to some Cowboy fans. I think this would be exciting, but it would be maddening because of the position that it is.
Boom.
Cowboys trade a second-round pick for, in my opinion, the most underrated receiver in football.
Ooh, underrated receiver in football. I know it was Allen Robinson for Tyler Lockett?
Not anymore. I think Tyler Lockett has gotten the
He's
appreciation
properly
he
rated?
deserves. But a couple years ago, it was Tyler Lockett.
Gosh, dang it. Underrated receiver.
It's an AFC player.
AFC underrated
not
receiver.
You're not talking about like Renfro, one of those guys. Okay.
Or one of those
This is a legit
Cincinnati
outside player.
bona fide
Keenan
stud.
Allen.
No.
It's got to be a team that doesn't, that's not really
They
a
don't have a good
team.
quarterback.
Yeah.
And they're kind of looking to maybe start to rebuild a little bit. They did draft a quarterback.
Okay.
Jets.
Diontae Johnson of the Steelers.
The Steelers, okay.
Pair him and James Washington together.
Cowboys trade a second-round pick to get Diontae Johnson. Now, if all you're talking about is a 2, I'm all in. I love Diontae Johnson. Out of Toledo, I think he's an absolute stud. I don't know if the Steelers would do that. You have to keep in mind you would probably have to pay him. They're also going to have to pay CeeDee Lamb. The one area the Cowboys will trade for is receiver.
That's true.
Now, I wonder if Cowboy fans would think, holy heck, what are you doing? You just had a receiver in Amari Cooper. You didn't want him. You traded him for a 5. Now you're going to go back out. You're going to trade a 2 to get Diontae Johnson. What's your team building strategy here? This makes 0 sense. But Diontae Johnson's younger. I think right now a better player, in my opinion, than Amari Cooper maybe. Has higher upside. Man,
yeah, that's your move. Like I could justify,
exciting.
like I was getting rid of Amari because you have a declining asset who's getting old, and we wanted to trade him before we couldn't get anything for him at all. And I think over the next 2 seasons, that idea is going to play out, and the Cowboy fans, we are going to move on from that. I think the bigger thing is you're not going to pay 3 guys. So if you plan to keep Lamb and pay him, and you already have Gallup paid, your other guy has to be either a veteran who's making significantly lower money or a guy on a rookie contract. So I think you continue with Tolbert, Gallup, and Lamb probably for the next 3 seasons.
Yeah. I'm kind of fundamentally against trading for receivers at this point, unless it's like one of these next level super stud dudes, because I just feel like with the way the sport has gone now, you can find wide receivers kind of almost anywhere. I mean, it's just every single draft we keep hearing about the depth of the wide receivers. You're finding Michael Gallup in the 3rd round. So I would rather take that. You mentioned you're going to invest money in CeeDee Lamb at that position. You've already done it with Michael Gallup. How much money does Stephen Jones feel like he has allotted for one position group? Probably not much. You need one of these guys on a rookie contract. Use that 2nd-round pick and go get the next Diontae Johnson because they're all out there. I'm not trading for receivers anymore.
And
I like that.
Terry McLaurin just got $22 million a year. Diontae Johnson's probably going, and CeeDee Lamb are probably going to want around there.
Yeah, now that the market is skyrocketed too for receivers, the best bang for your buck in football is probably going to find one of these young studs who can be outstanding for you and be making chump change.
I think
he might be onto
agree.
something though here, because if you look at what the Steelers have done, and they drafted George Pickens from Georgia, who I absolutely loved, and then Calvin Austin the 3rd. So they took a 2nd-round pick and a 4th-round pick.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, but if you're the Steelers, do you try and say, okay, we're not going to pay this guy? We're just going to play with Pickens and Austin and then Claypool?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you can get, because the Steelers might not want to pay these guys.
We had a story about this a couple of months ago, like the market value of wide receivers has skyrocketed relative to the cap. So you're hitting the law of diminishing return with wide receiver now at $25, $30 million. It's too much of the salary cap to get back the winning production compared to what you could get in the second, third, or fourth round. Like, just keep drafting them. These things are so deep now. It's 12 or 15 wide receivers coming out of college that can help you their rookie year. It's insane.